Discover the unexpected journey. I rescued an amnesiac billionaire, and he's my baby's father. Lisa wiped her brow, exhausted after yet another grueling shift at the diner. The familiar smell of fresh coffee mingled with the greasy scent of fried food, wrapping around her like an old blanket. She glanced at the clock. It was late. She looked out the back door, and the chilly autumn air hit her like a wave. With her little Timmy waiting for her at home, she scooped up her jacket and pushed the door open, readying herself to face the quiet night. Just as she stepped outside, she stumbled upon a man in a tailored suit, slumped against the diner's back wall. Panic raced through her veins. He looked so out of place in their small Midwestern town, a king fallen into the mud. "Help!" she shouted, but the street was silent, leaving only the whisper of the wind. Heart pounding, she lifted him gently, every ounce of strength surging through her, and dragged him inside. As he stirred awake, Lisa's heart raced faster. His sky-blue eyes blinked slowly, confusion blooming across his handsome face. "Where am I?" he croaked, as Lisa knelt beside him, panic flashing in her chest. "You're safe, but we need to help you," she said softly, feeling the warmth of a strange bond forming between them. Days turned to weeks as the man whom she learned was Jack recovered. Their laughter echoed in the empty diner after hours, filling the space where dreams danced on the edges of reality. Jack shared tales of a life filled with luxury, while Lisa's stories sang of hope and everyday challenges. With each story, Lisa felt the walls of her mundane life begin to crack open, spilling in a light that she thought faded long ago. Timmy, shy yet curious, took to Jack, his little giggles like fireworks in the air. But one afternoon, while shifting through Jack's expensive jacket, Lisa found a newspaper clipping tucked away. The headline screamed, "Missing Billionaire Found." Lisa's heart sank. Panic ignited within her. What if she told him the truth about who he really was? Would their bond shatter like glass? As she wrestled with her conscience, whispers swirled among the diner's regulars. Some blamed Jack for his hidden wealth, others rallied behind Lisa, but the divide became palpable. Lisa, feeling the weight of every judgment, grew more anxious. How could she bridge the chasm of their worlds? Then it happened. Jack started to regain fragments of his memory. Memories of wealth, limits, expectations flooding back. Suspicion crept into his gaze as he began to question Lisa's motives. Did she want him for his money? The questions pierced her heart. Not again, she thought. Could she bear losing another person she cared for? Tension crackled between them. Lisa visualized a future where she could give Timmy everything she wished for, but fear gnawed at her. What if Jack returned to his old life and left them behind? That evening, as Jack's memories rushed back like waves crashing against a rocky shore, Lisa stood on the precipice of revelation. Timmy was watching from the sidelines, wide-eyed and innocent. The air was thick with unspoken words. Could this one moment determine everything? Would she lose him forever, or would he choose to embrace the unexpected love they had forged together through this whirlwind ordeal? As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow through the diner's windows, Lisa held her breath. Jack sat across from her, his stormy blue eyes reflecting the confusion swirling inside him. He seemed so distant, yet so close. The memories he had regained tugged at his features, the struggle between his past life and this new one written across his brow. "Lisa," he began, the weight of her name hanging in the air, heavy and uncertain. "What is going on? I feel different." His voice trembled slightly, the possible realization of what he had lost almost breaking through the surface. She clasped her hands tightly, heart racing. "You've been through a lot, Jack. You were in an accident and you lost your memory. I found you and brought you here. But I'm not just any man, am I?" He leaned in, the harsh truth staring them both in the face. "Why are you being so kind to me? What do you really want?" Lisa's breath hitched. "I want you to heal. I've seen you laugh, I've watched you bond with Timmy, you matter to us." She dared to meet his gaze, vulnerability evident in every fiber of her being. Jack shook his head, frustration wrestling with the remnants of confusion. "You think it's that simple? I'm a billionaire, Lisa. I lived a life that was so far removed from this. He gestured around the diner, his elegant hands waving like he was dismissing something unworthy. I could ruin everything for you. Jack. Her voice rose, surprising even herself. You're not just your money. You're a person. I see you. I see what you've become here with us. Tears filled her eyes, threatening to spill over. It wasn't just an argument. This was a plea from the heart. You are so much more than your past, than what others think you are. The tension hung in the air, and Timmy's innocent presence became apparent again, standing at the end of the table with curiosity etched across his small face. Jack and Lisa's eyes shifted to him, and the moment of raw emotion broke. Mommy, is Jack going to stay with us? Timmy's pure question sliced through the ambiguity, filling the space with childlike sincerity. Jack's breath caught, as if realization had struck him like lightning. The image of Timmy cheering in the diner, beaming and laughing, flooded counterarguments away. I don't know, little buddy. His voice softened as he replied, the weight of a decision forming in his heart. What if I wanted to? Lisa's heart fluttered, but uncertainty lingered. Could she truly allow herself to hope for a future that felt perched on the edge of possibility, yet so precarious? I have to go. Jack's voice pulled her from her thoughts, a deep sigh escaping his lips. I need to figure out who I am, who I want to be. The fear burst in Lisa's chest. No, you can't go. What if you don't come back? It was out before she even understood the meaning of her words. Jack hesitated, his face a mix of regret and longing. Don't you see? I'm trying to grasp a life that feels like sand slipping through my fingers. But I promise I want to find my way back to you, to both of you. As he stepped out into the chilly night, the closing door echoed like a final clap of thunder. Lisa felt hollow, torn between fear of losing him and the desire to let him find himself. Mommy Timmy brought her attention back, tugging at her sleeve. Is Jack our family now? Her heart ached with the weight of that question. Would they be left in the shadows of a possible future? She knelt to his side, forcing a smile. We'll see, sweetheart. I hope so. But the harsh, chilling wind wafting through the door spoke of uncertainty. Would Jack return? Was their fragile happiness destined to break, or could they forge a new path together? The evening wrapped around her like a heavy cloak, as doubt spiraled in her mind. What would tomorrow bring? Would Jack choose to face his past, or would he slip further away? The night dragged on, each minute stretching like taffy. Lisa sat at the booth, her fingers tracing the rim of her coffee cup as memories swirled in her mind. Images of Jack and Timmy laughing together, exploring the little world they had formed, filled her heart with warmth while the emptiness of his absence left her cold. She glanced at the door, willing it to swing open, but the diner remained quiet, save for the low hum of the neon sign outside flickering rhythmic shadows against the walls. Timmy, sensing the heaviness in the air, stirred in his seat. Mommy, can we get ice cream? He asked, a hopeful gleam in his wide eyes. A smile broke through Lisa's worry. Ice cream? She echoed, pretending to consider it. What flavor do you think Jack would like? Chocolate. He laughed when I told him about the chocolate fountain. Timmy clapped his hands, delight evident in his innocent enthusiasm. Lisa's heart cracked just a little, a bittersweet pang blooming there. She thought of Jack's laughter and how something so simple could transform everything. Okay, buddy. Let us go get some ice cream then. As they stepped out into the chilly night, a weight seemed to lift momentarily. The stars sprinkled across the darkness held a promise, she thought. Together, they made their way to the local ice cream shop, a place Jack had smiled about on their first trip. With every scoop they savored, Lisa's heart warmed, if only for a fleeting moment, thinking of him joining them, laughing and sharing stories about his life before the accident. But the joy soon faded as her mind spiraled back to doubt. Would he return? Was it worth building this fragile thing they'd created around his uncertain presence? Back at the diner, they dropped into the booth again, Timmy beaming with chocolate all over his face. Lisa couldn't help but smile at him. Mommy, when will Jack come back? Do you think he'll like my drawings? Timmy's eager question hung heavy in the air. The innocence of his belief tugged at Lisa's heart. He will, sweetheart. He just needs time to think. But the lie felt heavy on her tongue. Suddenly, a familiar voice cut through the dining hum. Lisa. Her heart raced, a wild flurry in her chest. She turned, and there he was. Jack stood at the entrance, his hair tousled by the night wind, blue eyes lit with a flicker of something deeper. The moment crystallized, surrounding them in a peculiar stillness. Jack! Timmy shrieked, jumping to his feet, his ice cream forgotten. Lisa's breath hitched as he took a step forward, eyes locked onto her as if he could touch the emotions swirling between them. I came back, he stuttered, the promise laced in his voice unmistakable. I had to. Lisa's heart soared, but she felt the familiar edge of fear creeping in too. What changed? She whispered, uncertainty framing her question. He shifted on his feet, a breath held tight in his chest. I realized that you and Timmy, you've been my anchor. I want to understand who I am, but I don't want to lose you. I can't. The weight of his words fell like a blanket over her, pulling her close. But will you be okay letting go of who you once were? Lisa asked, vulnerability evident in her voice. Jack's eyes softened, determination etching his features into something she recognized, something human. I think I'm ready to find out, he replied. Hope flickered to life within Lisa, cautious yet bright, a tiny flame against the uncertainty of tomorrow. But as they finally locked gazes, doubts mingled with excitement. Was he truly here, ready to heal, or would the past always loom, waiting to pull him back? Mommy, Jack us back. Timmy squealed, bouncing on his toes. And in that moment, with the three of them gathered in that little diner filled with swirling uncertainty, the night air thick with possibility, something larger began to unfold. But the fabric of their fragile reunion still had threads of reality woven tightly around it. As Jack stepped inside, the chill breeze seemed to whisper reminders of the past, lingering shadows ready to cast their taint on new beginnings. Would their newfound path bring healing, or would the past claw its way back? Tomorrow might hold the answer, but for now, the uncertainty still gripped their hearts. Lisa couldn't take her eyes off Jack. He stood there, a mix of vulnerability and determination radiating from him. The diner felt so small, yet the air crackled with potential. Timmy, unaware of the gravity in the air, tugged at Jack's jeans and grinned up at him, his chocolate-smeared face lighting up the dim space with childlike joy. Can I show you my drawings? Timmy asked, optimism bubbling over. Jack knelt down, his knees creaking a bit under the sudden weight, and smiled at the boy, his blue eyes shining. Of course, buddy, Jack said, his voice gentle and welcoming. He lifted Timmy onto his hip effortlessly, their connection evident despite the time apart. Lisa felt warmth tugging at her heart, a glimpse of the family they could be again. As Timmy excitedly led Jack to the table where his drawings were laid out, Lisa stood frozen for a moment, grappling with the swirl of emotions in her chest. Could this really be happening? Jack was back, and yet, doubts still whispered at the edges of her mind. Was this fleeting happiness or the beginning of something greater? Wow, look at this one, Jack said, pulling a colorful crayon masterpiece closer. Did you draw this all by yourself? Timmy beamed. Yep, that's the castle I built with you. He was bouncing now, sheer happiness radiating from him. Watching them together, Lisa marveled at how easily they slipped back into their old rhythms. Jack was a natural with Timmy, a true father figure, and every smile Timmy gave him only deepened her conflicting feelings about their future. Her heart soared, but oh, how it also ached. Lisa, come see this, Timmy called, breaking her reverie. The longing in his voice drew her forward, and as she walked over, Jack's eyes met hers. It was a quiet moment filled with unspoken words, 1,000 questions hanging just out of reach. You're magic at this, she said softly, appreciating how he effortlessly connected with her son, even after everything. Jack smiled back, but the moment felt heavy with the understanding of their shared past, an acknowledgement of both how far they'd come and how much ground was still ahead. Thanks, I missed it, Jack replied, wiping a finger across Timmy's cheek to get some of the chocolate smudged there. Missed him. Missed you. His voice trembled slightly, the weight of his words settling. Timmy, oblivious, exclaimed, can we all go to the park tomorrow? The request broke the tension, and laughter bubbled out, but Lisa couldn't help the tightness in her chest. The ordinary moments were beautiful, but they came with uncertainty. Could they rebuild something lasting from the ashes of the past? I think that sounds like a great idea, Jack said, his face brightening. We can have a picnic maybe? Yeah, with sandwiches and lemonade. Timmy added with unbridled enthusiasm, his little heart filled with excitement. For a brief moment, watching Timmy dream big, everything felt right. But in the pit of her stomach, worry gnawed at her. What if the past comes back to haunt us? Lisa blurted out, the question escaping before she could rein it in. Jack's expression clouded, his brows furrowing. I can't promise everything will be perfect, but we'll face whatever comes together. Those words wrapped around her like a warm blanket, and for the first time, maybe hope flickered brighter than fear. But it was still a fragile light. As Lisa thought about their future, a barista called out, breaking the moment. Last call for coffee. Her heart skipped. Tomorrow felt too far away, too unpredictable. Mommy? Timmy's soft voice broke through her thoughts, urging her back into the now. Yes, sweetie. Will Jack stay? For real? The innocence of the question sliced through Lisa's heart. Of course, he will, she replied, forcing confidence into her voice. But the uncertainty lingered, heavy and palpable. Could Jack promise Timmy that? The evening blended into underlying tension, the cafe buzzing around them, a world of normalcy contrasting against their impending reality. What would the morning bring? And as she clutched Timmy's hand tighter, a wave of anxiety washed over her. Tomorrow would unfold a new chapter, but the shadow of doubt lingered just out of sight. Would they truly find the healing they all so desperately needed? The morning light filtered softly through the kitchen window, painting the room in warm hues. Lisa stood by the sink, a half-empty cup of coffee cooling on the counter as she washed yesterday's dishes. The moments from the diner played in her mind like a cherished film reel. Jack's laughter, Timmy's joy, the heavy weight of their unspoken past. But today felt different. Today carried the promise of change. Mommy, can we go now? Timmy's voice chimed from the living room, breaking her from her thoughts. He was already dressed in his favorite superhero shirt, eyes bright with excitement and hope. Lisa turned off the tap, wiping her hands on a dish towel. The smile on his face was infectious. Just give me a moment, sweetie. I'll be right there. She called back, trying to muster her own excitement. As she finished up, anxiety curled in her stomach. What if today didn't go as planned? What if Jack was just another fleeting moment in their lives? With one last glance at her son, Lisa took a deep breath and joined him. Jack was already in the living room, kneeling beside Timmy, showing him something on his phone. Their smiles mirrored each other, a bond forming that made her both warm and wary. Ready for our adventure today? Jack asked, his gaze lifting to meet hers. A flicker of vulnerability and determination blended in his expression. I can't wait to see the park all over again. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Timmy jumped, his little feet barely keeping still. As they piled into the car, Lisa tried to quiet the nagging doubts that gnawed at her mind. Every bump on the road felt like a step toward uncertainty, yet every glance at Timmy's joyous face reminded her of what mattered the most. She needed to empower her son to believe in love and family again, regardless of the shadows that had haunted them. The park was alive with the sounds of laughter, the air rich with the scent of fresh grass and blooming flowers. Jack quickly helped Timmy out of the car, and it felt like their souls were intertwined, their shared joy weaving a tapestry of new memories. Do you want to go to the swings first? Jack asked, and Timmy nodded furiously. As they walked together, Timmy ahead of them, Lisa couldn't shake the ball of anxiety that nestled deep within her. Jack leaned against a tree, and the sunlight danced around him, making him appear more youthful, carefree. But she knew better. Are you okay? Jack asked softly when he noticed her gaze. The concern laced in his voice soothed her anxiety, but it also amplified the questions swirling in her mind. I am just thinking, she confessed, her heart racing. Would he understand her fears? About us? He inquired, tilting his head slightly. It felt like he could see through her walls, into the uncertainty she so desperately tried to hide. About everything, she admitted, the vulnerability in her voice catching her off guard. Timmy deserves a family. I just want to make sure we're doing this for the right reasons. I want to be part of this family, Lisa. But I understand the weight of words and the promises that come with them. Jack paused, glancing at Timmy. If he accepts me, it would mean everything. The honesty in his voice washed over her, flooding the spaces where doubt resided. It's just, I've been hurt before. I want to protect him. Jack reached for her hand, offering reassurance. Let us take it one step at a time, okay? No pressure. His sincerity gently unraveled the knot in her chest. Maybe, just maybe, they could forge a new path together. As the afternoon sun climbed higher, laughter echoed through the park. Timmy raced up the slide, and Lisa found herself smiling widely. They were building something new brick by brick at their own pace, but then her phone buzzed, pulling her attention away. She glanced down, and a familiar name appeared, sending a shockwave of dread through her. What is it? Jack asked, noticing her hesitation. She swallowed hard, feeling the familiar weight of apprehension settle back in. It's my mother. She wants to talk. Timmy's laughter faded into the background as Lisa's heart raced. Would this call threaten the fragile peace they started to build? With trepidation, she answered the call, knowing the road ahead was still filled with unexpected turns. But in that moment, as uncertainties loomed, she felt one thing clearly: some journeys would demand more courage than she ever thought she had. "Mom?" she said, bracing herself. And then, the voice on the other end spoke words that would twist everything she thought she knew about her past, leaving her once again teetering on the edge of hope and fear. "Lisa, is that you?" Her mother's voice crackled, heavy with emotion. It sounded different, fragile, almost. "Yeah, Mom. What is going on?" Lisa's heart raced, not knowing what to expect. "I've been thinking about everything that happened, about us. And I want to explain. Can you meet me?" The simple plea tugged at something deep within her. From the time Lisa could remember, her mother had always been a force of consistency, but unpredictability loomed like a shadow in their past. Could this conversation bring understanding or only more chaos? "Meet you where?" she asked, glancing at Jack and Timmy, who were lost in their own world of fun nearby. "There's a cafe. The one by the old library. Remember?" She did. They had spent countless afternoons there, hidden behind cups of steaming cocoa while sharing secrets. "Okay, I can do that." "Just give me a minute," Lisa replied, her voice barely above a whisper. "Thank you, Lisa. I need you to hear me out." "All right," she said, feeling the burden of the unspoken words heavy in her chest. As she ended the call, she turned to Jack, whose eyes held a blend of curiosity and concern. "I have to go. It's about my mom. Do you want me to come with you?" he offered, his tone warm and sincere. But she hesitated. There were questions Lisa herself couldn't answer. Would this be a family conversation or just her trying to piece together fragments of her past? "I think I need to do this alone," she said slowly, fighting the tension that threatened to unravel her. "Okay, but I'm here whenever you need me," he assured her, and the gentle press of his hand against her shoulder fortified her a little. "Thanks, Jack." She managed a small smile before she turned away, steeling herself amidst the cacophony of laughter and the vibrant colors of the park. She knew it would be a tough conversation, one that might unearth old wounds, but she also hoped it might lead to healing. The cafe greeted her with familiar scents of coffee and pastries. Time seemed to slow as she stepped inside, all the memories flooding back like an old, worn-out playlist. People chatted animatedly, but her focus stayed pinned to the small table in the corner where her mother sat. "Mom," she said softly, sliding into the seat opposite. "Lisa," her mother replied, her voice quivering. "I know this is unexpected, but I have so much to explain. You have to know that I loved your father and you so much." Lisa's heart ached at the sight of her mother, the lines of age and worry etched deeply into her face. "What happened back then? Why did you leave?" Her mother looked down, gathering her thoughts. There were choices I made that didn't just affect me. I made promises I couldn't keep. I was scared, and I didn't handle it well. Those words sunk in like stones. Would this revelation open a door to forgiveness, or lead to more questions she wasn't prepared to face? I've moved on, you know? I have Timmy. I know, her mother interjected. And I'm proud of you. But you need to hear the truth. Lisa's stomach twisted. What truth? I feared for your safety. Your father, he was different. I didn't want him to hurt you, so I thought it was best to leave. Time stood still as the realization hit her there was more lying beneath the surface, a history she barely understood. What do you mean? What are you saying, Mom? But her mother seemed to falter, glancing around nervously before leaning in closer. What I'm saying is that everything isn't what it seems. Who you think is your father, he wasn't the only one. There's more to our history than you could possibly know. Lisa's heart raced. Was this the darkness haunting her? The unanswered questions from her past bursting to the surface? What do you mean there's more? She pressed, a pit growing in her stomach. Lisa, there's a chance you might have another connection to uncover. What did that even mean? As uncertainty gripped her, she felt poised on the edge of a revelation that could send her world spinning out of control. Would she walk away with clarity, or would she be diving deeper into the shadows, back at the park? Jack and Timmy continued their joyful play, oblivious to the storm brewing within her. She had been trying to build a stable future for them, yet here she was, standing at the brink of secrets that could unravel everything. Could Lisa navigate these turbulent waters and find truth without losing what she already held dear? What was waiting just beyond the horizon of her past? The air in the cafe hung thick with unspoken words. Lisa stared at her mother, eyes wide, hoping to make sense of the swirling confusion inside her. Every question collided violently in her head, each one demanding resolution, yet her mother's expression was a mixture of fear and regret. What do you mean, Mom? Another connection? Lisa repeated, trying to grasp the weight of her mother's statement. Her heart raced like a wild drum, echoing the uncertainty that loomed between them. Her mother leaned in close, voice barely above a whisper. Lisa, the truth is complicated. Your father, he wasn't the only man I loved. And after I left, I thought I could protect you from the consequences of my choices. But I realize now running away only caused more damage. The words felt like a punch to her gut. So, what does that mean for me? Is there someone out there, another father? The panic was creeping into her tone. She never imagined her life held secrets this profound. I didn't want you to carry the burden of those choices. I thought erasing my past would keep you safe, her mother sighed, looking older than ever. But running from the truth, it's haunted me. And now, it's time for you to know the whole story. Something shifted in Lisa. Could this truly reshape her understanding of everything? But why now? Why are you willing to talk about this when you never have before? Her mother's gaze flickered with pain, as if the memories were razor-edged. Because I see how you've grown, how incredible you are. You deserve the truth, not shadows. If there is another connection out there, you have a right to know. It's not fair to keep you in the dark. You're stronger than I ever was. Lisa processed her mother's words, feeling the weight of an unseen world pressing in on her. And what if I find out there's someone who is supposed to be part of my life? What if it changes everything I've built with Timmy? There's always a risk in the truth, her mother said softly. But life can't flourish in a place of hidden fears. You owe it to yourself and to Timmy to seek what is real. As Lisa stared into her mother's eyes, memories of laughter, her childhood, the innocent joys of family flooded back. But those memories now felt tainted, shaken by the urgent need for answers that lay just beneath the surface. I need time to process this, she whispered, grappling with the encroaching whirlwind of emotions. I understand, her mother said, her expression softening. Just know that I'm here, ready to help you piece everything together. No more hiding. Lisa felt a sudden swell of resolve. The shadows couldn't hold her back anymore. She wouldn't run from the truth, no matter how daunting it seemed. Maybe the unexpected journey wouldn't just be about uncovering the past. It might also lead her to an understanding of who she truly was. As she stood up to leave, her mind buzzing with possibilities, She realized something profound. She had the power to change her narrative. The road ahead wouldn't be easy, but her heart was telling her it was necessary. "Mom, thank you for telling me," she said, her voice steadying. "I'll figure this out." And with those words, Lisa stepped out of the cafe, breaths coming easier but heart still racing. Jack and Timmy were still at the park, a bubble of joy in a world full of uncertainties. Would she find what she was searching for? What hidden truths awaited her in the lives woven into her past? As the afternoon sun began to set, an overwhelming sense of determination washed over her. "Okay, Lisa, let us discover what's waiting out there," she uttered to herself, stepping purposefully toward the future, ready to confront whatever secrets lingered in the shadows. But little did she know, the revelations ahead would challenge everything she thought she knew and change her world forever. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a golden hue over the park. As Lisa walked, her heart pounded, each beat a reminder of the turmoil swirling inside her. It felt as if the world around her had gotten a lot bigger, full of uncharted territories she was now compelled to explore. Jack was playing catch with Timmy, their laughter ringing out like music in the air. For a moment, that sound wrapped around her like a comforting blanket, grounding her. Yet, the newfound knowledge gnawed at her. Could it be true? Another father out there, potentially waiting for her to find him? "Hey, Lisa." Jack's voice broke her reverie. He waved, his bright smile the same as always. But there was something in her eyes that caused his smile to fade slightly. "You okay?" "Yeah, just thinking." She approached, forcing a smile to mask her inner turmoil. Timmy ran over, his small hands reaching up for her, bright-eyed and innocent. "Mommy, look what I can do." He spun around, arms wide as if he could encompass the world in that moment. "Wow, buddy, that's amazing." Lisa cheered, her heart swelling with love. But even as she smiled, the weight of her mother's words lingered, a stark contrast to the joy surrounding her. After a few minutes, Jack proposed ice cream. "Let us treat ourselves. It'll be fun." Lisa hesitated. Something about indulging in a normal moment felt wrong. "Do you think I should wait?" "Wait for what?" Jack asked, looking confused. "You've had a long day. A little treat never hurt anyone. Just I might be looking for someone soon. Someone I didn't know existed, and I don't want to distract myself." Lisa's voice trembled. Jack's brow furrowed. "Are you sure you want to go on this journey alone? You know I'm here for you, right?" She nodded, grateful for his support. Yet, at that moment, fear gripped her. What if the search for another part of her identity pushed Jack away? What if finding this new connection altered everything? The chaos in her mind replayed her mother's words, pushing her toward decisions that felt overwhelming. As they sat on the bench with their ice cream, Lisa forced herself to be present. She watched Timmy and Jack, both immersed in silly games, and felt a flicker of hope. Maybe her quest wouldn't take her away from them, but rather help her understand them, even herself, more fully. "Timmy loves you, you know," Jack said suddenly, his gaze fixed on the boy. "You're doing a great job raising him. Just remember, whatever happens, we're a team." His words struck a chord deep within her. "A team," she whispered, feeling the strength in that bond. Just then, Lisa's phone buzzed in her pocket, and she pulled it out, the screen lighting up with a name she didn't recognize. Her heart raced. It could be the beginning of the answer she was seeking. "Who is it?" Jack asked, curiosity glimmering in his eyes. "I don't know," Lisa replied, staring at the message, her stomach twisting. "But it might be someone from my past." With a mix of excitement and trepidation, she opened the message. But her heart dropped as she read the first line. "Lisa, I need to talk to you about your father." The words hit her like a cold wave, bringing with them a surge of anxiety and a promise of unforeseen truths. What secrets lay behind the topic of her father, and how would it intertwine with the journey she was about to embark on? The light of the setting sun felt dimmer, overshadowed by the weight of what this could mean. As the evening enveloped the park, one question lingered. Was she truly ready for what lay ahead? Lisa's heart thudded in her chest as she reread the message. "I need to talk to you about your father." It echoed in her mind, dragging her back to childhood memories and unspoken truths. She glanced up at Jack, who looked uncomfortably curious, half a hint of worry in his features. "What's it say?" he asked gently, tilting his head slightly. Lisa hesitated, her fingers trembling on the screen. "It's from someone named Sarah," she finally said, taking a deep breath to steady herself. "She says she wants to talk about my father." "Do you know her?" Timmy, still buzzing from his ice cream, was obliviously curious. "No, not really," she murmured, feeling lost. The panic inside her started to bubble. What if this Sarah was someone who opened a floodgate of memories and revelations she wasn't ready to face? "Do you want me to check it out with you?" Jack asked, fierce loyalty in his voice. "We can go together." The warmth of his offer should have been comforting, but instead, it felt heavy. Lisa tried to piece things together while she looked at Jack and Timmy, their laughter pulling her back. What if this journey turned them away? "No," she said, shaking her head. "I think I need to do this alone. I need to find out who I am, maybe discover why my past is calling me." "Okay," Jack replied softly, but she could see the concern coloring his expression. "But, whatever happens, I'm here for you." As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the park, Lisa couldn't shake the feeling that she was standing on the edge of something immense. She sent a quick reply to Sarah, requesting a meeting. After hitting send, she felt like she had just dropped a stone in a still pond, the ripples spreading out across her life. "Let us go home," Jack said, turning to Timmy. "We can play some board games and have a fun night in." Timmy giggled at the thought, and as Jack settled him on his shoulders, Lisa caught a glimpse of the life they forged together. It was perfect, and yet it felt tethered to an unfinished story, a story that could change everything. That night, as she lay in bed, her mind tangled in uncertainty, she stared at the ceiling. Questions swirled like autumn leaves caught in the wind. What if Sarah had answers? What if the truths about her father reshaped her family? A sudden thought struck. Would meeting him change her bond with Jack and Timmy? Would it threaten the fragile team they had built? Tears streamed down her cheeks as sadness mixed with hope. She wiped them away as realization dawned on her. She couldn't live in fear of the unknown. She had to embrace whatever came next, for her sake and her family's. And then her phone buzzed again. Another message from Sarah, sent only moments after the last. "Let us meet tomorrow morning at the diner on 4th and Main. I promise you'll want to hear this." The finality of the message felt like a call to arms. She lay wide awake, battling the thrill of fear and curiosity. Tomorrow would change everything. She pressed her palm against her chest, trying to calm the wild rhythm of her heart. Was she ready for this? As dawn approached, bringing light to her fears, another question loomed larger. What could Sarah possibly want to reveal about her father? The next morning arrived, cloaked in a hazy gray that mirrored the tumultuous feelings swirling inside Lisa. She stared at the mirror, breathless and nervous, knowing today held potential answers about a past she had only just started to understand. "Mommy, are you coming?" Timmy's cheerful voice rang from the living room, breaking her from her thoughts. "Coming, sweetheart." She forced a smile and took a deep breath, steeling herself for the uncertainty ahead. The diner at 4th and Main felt like hallowed ground, remnants of everything momentous lodged within its walls. Just the thought of Jack and Timmy made her heart swell. She had something special, something worth cherishing. But who is this Sarah? What truths did she bring? As she stepped into the diner, the familiar aroma of coffee and pancakes enveloped her. It was comforting yet chaotic, like the storm brewing inside her. Then she saw Sarah, a striking woman with bright, thoughtful eyes that held secrets of their own. "Lisa?" Sarah's voice called softly. "Yeah," she replied, sitting down, her heart racing as she faced this unknown. "I'm glad you came." A warmth flickered in Sarah's gaze as she leaned in, her next words carrying weight. "I know this is awkward, but there's something important I need to clarify." Lisa nodded, her breath hitching. "What do you know about my father?" "There's much you don't understand about him, and it's time you heard the truth." As Sarah spoke, the world around them faded. Memories danced in shadows. Lisa's father, the man linked to pain and mystery, was suddenly alive in her mind, a figure both distant and profound. Your father wasn't merely absent. He was facing battles that you couldn't see. He believed leaving was the best way to protect you. But he loved you deeply even from a distance. Tears prickled at the corners of Lisa's eyes. Why didn't he come back? Why didn't he help? Bitterness wrapped around her heart like a vice. She longed for connection, but this felt like a betrayal. Some wounds run deep, Lisa, Sarah replied gently. Your father struggled in silence. He thought of you every day, but he felt the past's grip tighten. His fear of being unworthy to be your father overshadowed everything. Lisa's chest constricted, the weight of her mother's earlier revelations pressing heavily on her soul. So, he didn't want me? He left because he thought I'd be better off? That's not true, Sarah said, leaning closer, sincerity etched in her expression. He thought keeping away would spare you pain. The truth is he wants to reconnect. To explain himself to you. He has been searching for the right time to come back. Hope flickered, battling against the darkness. A part of her ached to find this man, longing for a resolution that could bring peace. But another part feared the instability this could bring to Timmy's life. Why no? Lisa questioned, grappling with her emotions. What changed? Your father had a revelation. A doctor's visit changed everything. He realized he can't hide from his past. Sarah paused, collecting her thoughts. And neither can you. I don't think I'm ready. The words slipped out like confessions, truth mingled with ache. She couldn't bear the thought of driving a wedge between her fragile family. Taking the step toward understanding could mend more than you think. But you have to be willing to embrace the unknown, Sarah urged gently. With every word, a crack formed in the fortress Lisa had built around her heart. She needed to think, could this revelation lead to healing? The moment stretched, weighted with uncertainty. But glimmers of determination started puncturing the haze. She would face her fears. Not just for herself, but for Timmy, to build the family she had dreamed of, one anchored in love, not hidden in shadows. I need to meet him, she finally declared, her voice firm yet vulnerable. A smile spread across Sarah's face, relief washing over her expression. I'll help. Let us reach out, and together we can pave the way for a reunion. As they exchanged numbers and exchanged plans, Lisa felt rejuvenated, hope blossoming where there had once been dread. When she walked out of the diner, the sunlight hit her like a soft embrace, burning through the remnants of worry. Stepping into the car, her thoughts danced between absent fathers and budding futures. Timmy bounced in his seat, full of excitement about the day ahead. Jack parked in front of the diner, smiling brightly as he opened the door, reveling in a simple moment filled with vibrancy. Did you have fun? He asked, his eyes sparkling. It was eye-opening, she admitted. I think I'm ready to discover my past and face whatever comes next. Together. Jack nodded, standing tall. Whatever you need, I'm right here. As they drove away, laughter bursting between them, Lisa realized they were not just a team. They were a family woven together by past struggles, present possibilities, and unyielding love. Her heart felt lighter, and the future lay ahead, open like a fresh canvas, ready to be filled with hope. Tomorrow awaited answers, old wounds, but also countless chances for renewed joy, and she was ready to embrace it all. Now, dear readers, this is the moment for you. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help us share the journey. Comment below your thoughts, feelings, and reactions about this ending. And the biggest challenge, share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. You need to support the channel, and remember, don't wait not even one more second to share.